We are seekers on a quest to discover truth and meaning. Sometimes we think we found it, wrapped up, glimmering with newness, straight off the intellectual assembly line. All the answers right here for us, and for others if only they'd listen. But truth has a way of coming in disguise, sometimes wearing rags, sometimes finery. So often cloaked from our immediate sight, and sometimes that which we have rejected, that which we have let go of, or decided that was only for others, but not for us, can be our best teacher. Let our time of worship be an acknowledgement of our never-ending journey towards truth and meaning, and our appreciation of those that we can learn from along the way. Folks at home are invited to light your chalices while Dave reads our covenant, and we light our chalice here.
The members and friends of Unitarian Church of Hinsdale promise each other to listen and learn together with compassion, curiosity, and an open mind. Stay engaged and participate to create a warm, welcoming, and financially healthy church community. Work together and beyond our walls to address social and environmental challenges and support our church and its mission with time, talent, and treasure.
Thank you, Mr. Fox. Good morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Church of Hinsdale. My name is Pam Romancic. My pronouns are she and theirs. And you are all welcome here this morning. Each of us brings so many different lenses and perspectives and identities and many more this morning. And every one of them is welcome as we commit to upholding the worth and dignity of every single person. Thank you now for placing your gadgets in worship mode so we don't have any ringing during the service. Childcare is always available over in our religious education building, across the lane, down the steps, third door on the left. Our kids are very excited that vaccines are coming out for our kids, so hopefully before too much longer, they'll get to be in the service with us. So that'll be wonderful. Say thank you this morning to Dave Lloyd, Mr. Fox, for being our worship associate, and for Jamie Passman, always provides us with amazing music. Details for everything you saw on the announcement slides before the service are on our website or in news and notes. If you are new to the church and would like to start signing up to receive our publications, you can sign up at the welcome desk at the back of the church. Online, you can go to our website, www.hinsdaleunitarian.org, and fill out the contact form there. Now, let's see what's going on. Next Sunday, the racial equity team will be showing the Emmy Award-winning documentary 13th by Ava DuVernay. The film explains the connection between Americans' history of slavery and mass incarceration. It will be shown directly after the service here, and there will be snacks in the back to keep you through the time, and there will be a conversation after the film. You can also watch it online on November 18th at 6:30 p.m. All of that information to how to link into that is online. Both events will have discussions afterwards. There's a lot more going on that I'm not telling you about, so make sure you look around and see. You're all welcome this morning. As we begin our time together, we bring open hearts and open minds. We listen for the wisdom of spirit, for the joy of connection, for the comfort of a faith home that welcomes our whole and holy selves. Let our worship now begin.
We are blessed to go and amazing grace, and
to begin this morning in a holy place, and that was one announcement I forgot to make, that the choir will be recording some more of those songs today after the service. So stay, and if you remember, stay and sing. We now go to our gratitude moment in our service, where we say thank you for all the blessings that we have in our lives. And we take each week we say special thank you to one person in our congregation. Today we're saying a special thank you to Anita Jenks. Anita Jenks has served the church in so many ways. She's a worship associate. She leads worship. She organizes the story services a couple times a year. She did so much with the Women's Alliance, and she always shows up to do the anti-racism work. And this is only since the time that I've known her. She's been here a long time, and I'm sure she's done way more than that. So, in thank you and gratitude for all you've done, Anita, we say thank you this morning. Yay. Now, keep thinking about the people that you see doing things around this church, and drop me an email and say, nominate somebody to be thanked on a Sunday morning. And are there any other gratitudes that wish to be shared this morning that are resting on your hearts that you'd like to say thank you for? Mice. The wolf says, or the fox says mice. Yes. Oh my gosh, fabulous. That is a deep gratitude. Thank you.
50 years later, I can still fit in my original
I wish I could say the same. All right. For these and everything that we are grateful for, we hold our full hearts and say a deep thank you. And then out of that place of gratitude and fullness, we bring our own gifts to this community. We work together in this church to always try to make the world just a little bit better place. So now is the time in our service when we accept your offering to do that good work. People at home can go onto our website, www.hinsdaleunitarian.org, and hit the donate button. And here our collection will be gratefully received. And as it is, I invite you to say our offering words together. This church is made up of all of us. It is what we learn together, the work we do together, and the fun we have together. It's what we share with one another, with the people around us, and with all the world. Thank you all, as your offering is gratefully received.
Our first reading is Telling by Laura Hershey. What you risk telling your story, you will bore them. Your voice will break, your ink spill and stain your coat. No one will understand. Their eyes become fences. You will park yourself forever on the outside. Your differentness, once and for all revealed, dangerous. The names you give to yourself will become epithets. Your happiness will be called bravery, denial. Your sadness will justify their pity. Your fear will magnify their fears. Everything you say will prove something about their God or their economic system. Your feelings that change day to day, kaleidoscopic, will freeze in place, brand you forever, justify anything they decided to do with you. Those with power can afford to tell their story, or not. Those without power risk everything to tell their story, and must. Someone, somewhere, will hear your story and decide to fight, to live and refuse compromise. Someone else will tell her own story, risking everything. Thus ends the reading.
Today we think about telling our stories, but we also think about how we bring our whole and holy selves into this space, the selves that sometimes hide in plain sight, how we can make sure they can shine for everyone to see. I invite you now into a moment of stillness. Put your feet onto the ground. Take a deep, slow breath in, a cleansing breath out, allowing any anxiety, worry, tension to drain out of your body down through your feet into the rich earth below. Listen for a few moments to the stillness of your beating heart. I invite you to hold that stillness within you, to carry it with you on your day. We remember today is All Hallows Eve. It's the day before All Saints' Day in the Christian calendar, in the Western Christian calendar. It reminds the people that people have claimed to be saints, that have been judged to be saints by men, claims that they have all entered into heaven and that we should look to them for inspiration. The day after All Saints' Day is All Souls' Day. And All Souls' Day remembers everyone that has lived and died. You may have noticed over the years that there are quite a few Unitarian Universalist churches that are named All Souls. I know of at least 6 myself. Unitarian Universalists throughout the years have agreed that God could never damn any one of God's creatures. And therefore, all of us will return to the all-encompassing love of God, whether that is on this planet or whether it's just that our bodily matter returns to the earth out of which it was grown. We know we cannot be separated from this universe out of which we've come. So today we remember all of those who have died. With humility, we acknowledge that we have no idea what actually happens after we die, but we know that each life has made an indelible mark while they were here. Each person has contributed in some way to the fullness of this life that we know. Today we celebrate all of those lives, all who have lived and breathed and struggled and loved. If you would like to come up now to light a candle in honor of someone you love, you're welcome to do so now. We light 3 final candles today. Light for all of those people whose names we do not remember today that have passed away this year. We hold them in our hearts. For all the plants and animals that have become extinct this year, we remember them. And for this church community that walks with us in our sorrow and our joy.
Such a love that I feel the same. My heart is beating in a different way. Been gone such a long time. Will you miss me? Where's I head on the bed? Clock has started. Another remotely rolling has been said. Let's not pass on the steps. Let's take the ceiling. Very easy. Let's take pills. Salt water. Let's keep looking ahead. It's a baby, what you know, boy calls me down. It's a baby, what you know, boy calls me down. History pictures. There is evidence in boxes, there is proof of your love for him. Long after it's dead, and every creek and trigger, I will think of you with others I could not smother out. That fire in my head, and I saw your levitating chair. I found your long blonde hairs, I felt your poltergeist present in the frame of the bed. Every creak is a trigger. I will think of you with others. I found it pretty convinced me I may no longer care. It's a baby that you
Our next reading is Revealing Your True Self. Identity is an elusive concept. We feel we must define ourselves using a relatively small selection of roles and conscious character traits, even if none accurately represents our notion of self. The confusion surrounding our true natures is further compounded by the fact that society regularly asks us to suppress so much of our emotional, intellectual, and spiritual vibrancy. Yet we are, in truth, beings of light, pure energy, inhabiting physical bodies, striving for enlightenment while living earthly lives. Our true selves exist whether we acknowledge them or not, often buried under fears and learned behavior. When we recognize our power, our luminosity, and our divinity, we cannot help but live authentic lives of appreciation, potential, fulfillment, and grace. At birth and throughout your childhood, your thoughts and feelings were more than likely expressions of your true self. Though you may have learned quickly that to speak and act in a certain fashion would win others' approval, you understood innately that you were no ordinary being. There are many ways you can recapture the authenticity you once articulated so freely. Meditation can liberate you from the bonds of those earthly customs that compel you to downplay your uniqueness. Also, communing with nature can remind you of the special role you were meant to play in this lifetime. In order to realize your purpose, you must embrace your true self by letting your light shine forth, no matter the consequences. Rediscovering who you are apart from your roles and traits takes time and also courage. If, like many, you have denied your authenticity for a long time, you may find it difficult to separate your true identity from the identity you have created to cope with the world around you. Once you do find this authentic self, however, you will be overcome by a wonderful sense of wholeness as you reconcile your spiritual aspect and your physical aspect, as well as your inner and outer world personas. As you gradually adjust to this developing unity, your role as a being of light will reveal itself to you, and you will discover that you have a marvelous destiny to fulfill.
It's good to be back here again. Some of you might know that this is actually the third time I've come performing with my band to Holland in the last year. So, ik hoop dat ik u nog niet verveel. You're always so welcoming, so thank you very much. This next song I'm going to play you is something I wrote really recently. You're actually the first audience I've played it to live, so you're very privileged. It's a song about feeling like you have to wear a mask, basically. You have to put on a front and be someone you're not until you come to God or someone you're really close to. It's called I'll Wear This Mask.
Our next reading is Listening for Our Song by Reverend David S. Blanchard. On sabbatical in East Africa, I heard a story of a people who believe that we are each created with our own song. Their tradition as a community is to honor that song by singing it as welcome when a child is born, as comfort when the child is ill, in celebration when the child marries, and in affirmation and love when death comes. Most of us were not welcomed into the world in that way. Few of us seem to know our song. It takes a while for many of us to figure out which is our song and which is the song that others would like us to sing. Some of us are slow learners. I heard my song not necessarily from doing extraordinary things in exotic places, but also from doing some very ordinary things in some routine places. For every phrase I heard climbing Kilimanjaro, I learned another in a chair in a therapist's office. For every measure I heard in the silence of a retreat, I heard another laughing with my girls. For every note I heard in the wind on the beach at Lamu, I gleaned more from spending time with a dying friend as her children sang her song back to her. What came to astound me was not that the song appeared, but that it was always there. I figured that the only way I could have known it for my own was if I had heard it before memory went to work making sense and order of the mystery of our beginning. Our songs sing back to us something of our essence, something of our truth, something of our uniqueness. When our songs are sung back to us, it is not about approval, but about recognizing our being and our belonging in the human family. It is good to know our songs by heart for these lonely times when the world is not singing them back to us. That's usually a good time to start humming to yourself that song that is most your own. They can be heard as songs of love or of longing, songs of encouragement or of comfort, songs of struggle or of security. But most of all, they are the songs of life, giving testimony to what has been, giving praise for all we've given, giving hope for all we strive for, giving voice to the great mystery that carries each of us in and out of this world. Thus ends the reading.
I'm looking at you and imagining all the songs that I've heard you sing to me throughout these years. How the people I know you to be. The times I wonder about my own song. What song am I singing to people? How do people recognize me? It's a question. It's amazing looking at all the wonderful costumes we have out here this morning. Halloween has become such a big, tremendous holiday in the U.S. I don't know about your neighborhoods, but people put up as many Halloween decorations as Christmas sometimes. Why is it so much fun to dress up as something other than we are? Why is it so much fun to step into a different persona or to do something that highlights who we are, who we'd like to be? We spent a year covering our faces with these kind of masks. That hasn't been fun. But why is it fun to dress up as a priest or a fox or a pirate or something like that? Some people think it's because it's a way of letting our shadow selves run wild. Maybe bringing up a part of us that we push down all the rest of the year and we can let go at Halloween and let it be out there. Maybe some unacceptable part of our personality. We each have things that we don't want other people to see and things that we want people to see us as. So maybe this is the time where we can say, just expose a little bit of that hidden person and see, is this okay? Each of us have come to have the song that we sing in the world, the persona that we present, out of a long process of becoming. It starts in childhood when we start realizing that some things are acceptable and some things that we do get us more of the love that we all crave as human beings. So folks that maybe grew up in harsh or critical places have shut down more parts of themselves, that people who have grown up surrounded by love feel more free to sing their whole songs. Sometimes, I remember we were watching videos from when I was like 4 or 5, and I was just this wild child running around in the video, just like, ha! And someone who knows me well said, "Where did that Pam go?" And I said, "I think she went to school." And she went to school and suddenly got shoved back down into my school uniform. This is what you need to do to behave. This is what you need to be okay. So when we dress up, we get to escape, maybe have a respite, let our quiet inside voices be outside. Like, so maybe the inner prankster is somebody who's reserved and respectable all the time, but wants to break things and makes messes, so maybe they dress up as a devil or a monster. Or maybe someone who always takes care of everybody else's feelings around them wants to be taken care of themselves for a change, so maybe they dress up as a diva or a slasher costume, nobody to take care of. Or maybe it's the bohemian soul that's just tired of being buttoned up and comes out as a hippie or a bunch of grapes, you know. Then there's the sexy cat and the sexy nurse and the sexy police officer. Yeah, you don't even know what to say about those. What do our costumes that we choose say about us on any given day? When I was a little girl, I had a hand-me-down Little Red Riding Hood costume. It had a little hat and a cape, and it was a skirt, and it was bright cherry red. And I loved it so much. I think I wore it until I couldn't fit in it any longer. But when I was an adult, I had to go to an adult Halloween costume, dress-up costume, and I couldn't think of anything. So I pulled that little costume out of my mom's closet and made myself an adult version. It was kind of sad because it wasn't cherry red. I made it out of an old sheet to save money, and so sheets don't take dye well. So I was a little pink Riding Hood. But I still had fun. What was your favorite costume throughout the years? What did you wear that just made you feel alive? I want you to take just a moment now and tell the people around you, 1 or 2 people around you, one favorite costume that you've had throughout your whole life. And if you're on Zoom or on YouTube, go ahead and chat. Type in the chat what your favorite costume has been. So take a few minutes. Share. Your favorite costume? Okay. I hope you had some great conversations. When you get home at night, you should type them all into Facebook so everybody can share everybody else's costumes. Now here's the harder question. Why was it your favorite? Maybe you've already shared that. But I loved my Red Riding Hood costume because when I was little, it made me feel like the costume was real. It made me feel like I could be skipping through the woods and run into a wolf. It fit my love of authenticity even as a child. I just remember feeling really good when I wore it. For my more adult self, I think I made the costume again because, one, it was easy. It was all I could think of. It brought back warm memories, and it held on to some sort of innocence that I was losing. I was probably only about 18 or 19 at the time. So that innocence, denying all the hardships and the monsters and the terrors that I was realizing that actually existed in the real world. I wanted to hold on to that something sweet and simple. Costumes can be ironic, they can be silly, they can be scary, they can be sexy, and sometimes it's just an excuse to grab something out of your closet. So, why was that your favorite costume that you just shared? Why was that? Why were you drawn to that? What did it represent to you then, and what does it represent to you now? I'm going to take a few minutes, share online, and continue the conversation here. Jamie, we didn't get to hear. What was your favorite costume?
I had a red hair mask and the best part was love the tribe. Love the tribe.
Was being the embodiment of evil?
Did you well.
Thanks, everybody. I hope you had really good insights. Is there anything that you learned about yourself that you want to share right now? No? I thought that might have been a stretch, but I thought, maybe somebody had some great thought they want to.
Do kids still do the hobo thing with just the stick and the? It's so great because that's all you ever need. It was just a stick and a bandana and then a couple of marks on your face.
You're good. Yeah, those were the good ones. Easy costumes. Still got you lots of candy. I think my costume, as I said earlier, indicated what I wanted to be. Maybe a fairy tale character that was quick enough to be able to outsmart a wolf. A girl on her own in a big scary world who could take care of herself. We go through our lives wearing many masks and personas to keep us safe, to hopefully bring the love that we need into our lives. Ironically, we wear masks to keep ourselves safe, but it's often when we take them off that we make those connections that we want so deeply. Masks create a separation and a distance, and while this can feel safe, it also works against what we long for in our hearts. Like the girl in the video who took her mask off and inspired everyone else to do the same. When we are authentic people, we allow other people to step into their own authenticity, their own true and beautiful selves. We've been wearing these lovely masks for way too long now. I know. And, I don't even have to say why they're not fun. My glasses steam up constantly. But we wear them because we care. So in some ways, wearing a mask says, I care about the world around me. But sadly, it does create anonymity. While as our Halloween costumes might reveal something about us, these masks kind of make us all be the same, all hidden behind these things that you can't see, that most important smile that you want to share with people. The other night we went to a concert, and the woman next to me had a wiggly child who was just like having a great time, and she looked like she was nervous, and I just wanted to be able to smile at her and just go, it's okay, and it wasn't worth saying it's okay, but it was worth, if I could have smiled at her, I think we would have both felt a little bit better. I'm missing that so much, just those simple ways we communicate. I love that Karen McDowell had John Cooper writer draw a smile on her everyday mask. So it's simply saying, I'm happy to meet you, even if you can't see my smile underneath. Some people choose to put scary things on their masks. I've seen those, and I wonder, what are they saying? Are they saying I'm unique? Are they saying get away from me? It is a mystery. Because masks can either divide us and keep us safe, or they can bring us together, and we don't even know what it's going to be. I want to say, sometimes we exist within the world, and because of we have to take a choice on one side or another, we end up fitting ourselves behind a mask that kind of fits, that kind of is what we think of the world, but may not be the entirety of it. And sometimes that's really hard because we want to be able to step into a richer conversation. And I want to say, I'm anti-gun, but I understand that sometimes people need to carry guns for some reasons. Sometimes things need to happen that do not fit every veneer, every mask that you wear, every side of a situation. And that's why it's wonderful when we have the chance to be able to take down our masks, be able to wear them on Halloween when it's just okay to have fun, when we could blow off steam, we can let loose our wild or our creative or our silly sides and be the people that we just want to have fun, and that is perfect and great and wonderful. Sometimes it's good to be a fox or a priest or a pirate. I mean, who doesn't love yelling, "Arg"? But each one of us brings complex memories and complex personalities into this world, and none of us are one-dimensional cutouts. We all have so much more that we can offer if we step out of the masks that we've created ourselves and offer our full and whole and holy selves out into this world, because that is what the world needs so much. So as we gather today and as you walk out into the world, be kind, be compassionate, be authentic, laugh and have fun, and be who you are. Your beautiful self is what is needed in every single season. Amen, and blessed be.
No church in the world can play The Exorcist.
Jamie and I were reminiscing about, we each had a copy of Mike Oldfield's Tubular Bells. It had that big tube on the cover. And Richard Branson, billionaire space travel, he started a record company, Virgin Records, and that was his first success. If that hadn't taken off, there wouldn't be this whole Richard Branson story. And I think I still have the record. This reading is Open Our Hearts with Love by Reverend Naomi King. It is a responsive reading, and the response is, we open our hearts with love. When the world's violence shatters the joy of a moment, we pause and reach out for the hands that remain. We open our hearts with love. When despair rises as a monster from the deep and drags down one of our own, our answer is that when hatred and anger rage in fire and suffering, we bend to pick up the wounded, to bind ourselves up. And when fear whispers, build more gates, add more locks, the blessed are those who defend themselves. We rock those fears to sleep and let them rest as people will do unspeakably cruel and horrible things. We know this fact. We live and die this daily, all around the world, in every community, in every wasteland. But we know the answer is found only with one action. And so we open our hearts with love. Hatred never ceases by hatred, but by love alone can be healed. This is the truth we affirm. We live with courage and with a wider and wider circle of that force that bends our lives to ones of mercy, justice, and compassion. Open our hearts. In love, we pray for those families, those individuals, all the persons here and everywhere who are desperately sure that there is not enough love in the world for them to have some, who are desperately sure that they do not matter. In love with life, in love with the beloved, we turn to answer that desperation with assurance. You are loved. You are lovable. We will and do love you. Now, attend to your life's work, to love. It's the only legacy that matters. Thus ends the reading. Those at home, you can extinguish your chalices there at the same time we do ours here with these words. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of its truth, the warmth of its community, nor the fire of our commitment. These we carry in our hearts and share with all the world.
We cover our eyes and we cover our hearts, remaining safely behind our preferred masks. What would it mean to pull it away, to bring our whole and holy selves, to be seen, to see, to be in the beautiful light of day today? Know that whatever you wear on the outside, the true and inner you is beautiful. Smile upon this world with your fullness. Bring the richness, the complexity, the brokenness, and the hope that is you. The world needs all of you. All of you. Amen, and blessed be.